Hey everyone, welcome back to Lovely Lavender Wishes. It's Renee and I hope you're having a very blessed day today. So today we are finishing up our study in James. I think I've said that a couple times, but we're still finishing it up. And I am going to be focusing on James 5 today, verses 7 and probably on, but let's see as we read. It's really talking about patience and perseverance and kind of waiting things out. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm dealing with a few family issues right now. A variety of things going on. And there's been a lot going on this year. And so God has been speaking to me again about patience and suffering and patient endurance and things like that. So verse 7 says, "Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it until it receives the early and late rains." Meaning, I take that personally to mean, how farmers wait for food to grow, but it needs to receive the early and late rains. It needs its nourishment as it's patiently waiting to grow. So for me, I take that as I am patiently waiting, whatever suffering or dealing with or issues I'm dealing with, I still need to be fed. I still need those early and late rains. I still need the Holy Spirit to feed into my life. Otherwise, if you're just kind of suffering through things without being fed the word or feeding yourself the word or whatever it may be, you can be patient all you want, but then you're still not going to grow. That's just my interpretation of this. I mean, if you go to a concordance or, a commentary or something and really study this, it probably will tell you a little bit something different, but that's how I am taking it just personally right now as I read this to you. That's the Lord speaking to me right now. And verse 8 continues. It says, "You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand." He's coming closer, y'all. He's coming closer. "Do not grumble against one another, brothers, so that you may not be judged." Oh, I need that right now, y'all, because I've been grumbling. I will be totally transparent and honest about that. "Behold, the judge is standing at the door." Whew. "As an example of suffering and patience, brothers, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord." So then he goes on. It says, "Before we consider those blessed who remained steadfast. You have heard of the steadfastness of Job." So he's giving examples now, saying, look back at these people. "And you have seen the purpose of the Lord, how the Lord is compassionate and merciful." I got to keep remembering that. He's compassionate and merciful. "But above all, my brothers, do not swear either by heaven or by earth or by any other oath, but let your yes be yes and your no be no, so that you may not fall under condemnation." So just go do what you say you're going to do, essentially. Again, that's my interpretation there. Do what you say you're going to do. Okay, so this page is going to be called Persevere. And right here on this side of the page, it's talking about the taming of the tongue. I mean, there's so much in James, y'all. And I'm working on this as well, the taming of the tongue, especially right now. I'm also working on wisdom from above. It says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his work in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth." And they're talking about wisdom that comes from above and wisdom that comes from earth. And again, all of this ties into each other. And I'm dealing with some of this stuff too, the bitter jealousy, selfish ambition. I'm dealing with a lot of this stuff because we've got a lot of family issues going on. And as you all know, family is hard. Family is hard, especially when you've had issues in the past, and we have. So right now we're dealing with really a lot of serious things, and I'm really, really trying to live according to the word. And sometimes it's really, really hard, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I've been having some issues. I've been having some problems. So that's why I'm kind of really working on this, and I want to remember this. So the page is going to be called Persevere, because I think we need to persevere through so many things, whether it's a trial, whether it's growing in the Lord, growing closer to the Lord, whether it's maybe staying in the word. You got to persevere through that sometimes, because sometimes you kind of read and you get kind of bored sometimes, and you're like, oh, and you just persevere through it. You got to persevere by you know, doing your day-to-day jobs sometimes, you know, and right now I feel like I am very behind on so many things and I can't catch up, and I'm trying my best, but we'll get there. So anyways, anywho, let's start crafting. We're going to do like a collage page. So I just grabbed a bunch of black and white scrap papers that I had. I think, was this all I had? Yeah. I guess I'm going to use these little scrap papers and this, and we're going to kind of do a collage-y type page. So I thought I had a few more. Let me see. Maybe not. So I'm going to just start collaging. Oops, I want it to be torn, not this perfect. Let's tear it this way. So it's all going to be kind of like a black and white page, I guess. And we are just going to start gluing things. I guess we can leave that right there. And then we'll kind of round that off. Let's do, just use this piece right here. I'm gonna tear all this part off. But I hope you're all doing well. I know the holidays are coming up, so that makes things even extra crazy. We have to fly up to my family over the holidays because of, like I said, a variety of things going on. Some personal stuff and what have you. So we're dealing with that. My book deadline is quickly coming up, and I'm not sure, y'all, if I'm going to get it done. I will do my best. I can only do my best. I've really been working on that. And for those of you who have been waiting for my next junk journal, y'all, I'm so sorry. I don't think I'm going to get one done, at least this year. I just don't think it's going to happen. I really wanted to do an autumn journal. I'm just tearing these willy-nilly. I don't know. We'll see how it looks. But I wanted to do an autumn journal, and I just don't think I'm going to get it. Because right now everyone's on to their winter journals. They've all finished their autumn journals, and they're all on to their winter journals now. And yeah, I haven't even begun an autumn journal, so don't think I'll be getting that done. Or a winter journal. I might get a spring journal done maybe in the spring. We shall see. But right now, I have to focus on priorities. And right now, junk journaling is just, sorry y'all, but not a priority right now. And I know some of you have been waiting, and I'm so sorry, but I can only really do so much. I'm trying. But you know, again, priorities. Right now my family's my priority. I gotta deal with a few things there. Okay, let's put, I'm just tearing stuff willy-nilly. This is tissue paper. Ugh, this is not tearing too well. Tissue paper from, I think, Tim Holtz. And, come on. So I figured I might as well use it. It's black and white. It's pretty. We'll just kind of maybe have that kind of sticking like right there. This sticking right here. Let's see what else. Oh, I don't know. That'll just stick right there. Okay, well, there we go. We'll work on this part first, and then we'll work on maybe carrying some of it over onto this page, because I like to do that. Oh, and this one is out of glue. Where's my other glue stick, y'all? Okay, let me go grab one. Grab a glue stick. Okay, here we go. And I haven't had a chance to even do my nails either. So I'm just gonna glue these on quickly. I did not prep this side of the page. I did prep this one because I have something on the other side, and if I use any inks or watercolors or whatever, I'm not sure if it'll go through. So I, prepped that page, but I didn't prep this side. because I figured I'm gonna glue almost all this paper onto here anyways for collage, and that'll kind of protect the page from anything that might go through. Let's see. I'll do that. And so you can either use gesso for this, kind of like napkin decoupage for these, but I'm just gonna use a glue stick for all of this. Just gonna pretend it's kind of like all like paper, which it is paper, but we'll cut that part off. Let's see, I had this part underneath, right? I don't even remember what I had anymore. This went on here, this one underneath, and this came here. So this piece will get glued first. You got to go from the background up to the foreground because it all layers on top of each other. So I'm going to try to save as much of this part as possible and cover that as much as possible. Okay, so then this one, this was a double-sided paper for, looks like graduation or congratulations or something. But I don't have any graduates coming up, so I will use this paper for something else. I love this side. And I'm gonna, where's my scissors? Grab my scissors, y'all. I'm gonna cut this part off. Oh, let me get the scissors. These are sharper for tissue paper. See, look how much easier that is. I love these little cutter bee scissors. But I hope you're all gonna have some really great plans for the holidays. I will be traveling through the holidays. I think we've got some work stuff we've got to do even over the holidays, y'all. It doesn't quit. So we've got some work stuff. That we're doing. And then some family stuff that is imperative that we do. It's not fun family stuff, like, you know, holiday family stuff. It's more of family stuff that we gotta go take care of. And then work stuff, and then we're back to go right back to work for after the holidays. So let's just stick this little piece up here. So I don't think we'll be celebrating the holidays too. We'll be on the road, I think. So I'm trying to get some videos done too before I go, but again, I might not. So over the holidays, y'all, we might just take a break and everybody, you know, go spend time with your family. I have some friends that all they do is craft, craft, craft. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying anything against that, but sometimes you do need to take a break. I'm not saying take a break from the word. Don't do that. But, you know, sometimes you got to take a break from other things, crafting or what have you. Right now, I have to finish my book. I have got to finish my book. I spent the last few days really working on it, and I've got some chapters done, and, you know, we're working on it. Ooh, that's looking pretty. It's looking like really cool, just like that. But we're gonna have to kind of fade it out a little, like push it to the back a little. But in the meantime, ooh, I also have some of these washi tapes and stuff. So let's add a couple of these. Oh, this is always the issue, trying to find the end. We could do it. We could do it, y'all. And I'm gonna tear, because y'all know I love tearing my washi tape. And we're gonna just put some down here. And we'll just put some up here. I should probably get my paper over here too. Let's see, we'll put some right there. I love this washi tape. I don't know where I got this one from. Maybe AliExpress, or perhaps that store. It's called the Little Craft Shop or Little Craft Store here in Texas. And she sells all this really cool washi tape. But don't quote me, because I am not positive where I got this one from. But you know, we're gonna put this one just kind of like right in the middle here. Get some numbers and such. We're gonna do a lot of layering. That's the fun thing about collaging. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no set way you have to do it. Just have fun with it. Tear things, you know, just put them wherever. Because we're gonna like I said, we're gonna paint over it and do a few things too. But you know, the different layers kind of gives your paper, your page, like an interesting effect. All these different layers on it. And when you cover some things up, don't be like, oh, I just did all that work just to cover it up. But it gives you that layered effect. Okay, I want to carry some of this over, and I'm trying to figure out how I would do that. Maybe, let's see, maybe kind of tear this a little bit. We shall see. I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna kind of cut this first. I think I got glue on this. That's why it's sticking. Yep, it's sticky. That's why I have an issue. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this down here. So then I don't have to deal with this whole big thing. Okay, I'm kind of thinking I want this to kind of come up. So I'm going to cut across the bottom here, as kind of straight as I can. And then we're going to tear this in a way, well, not like that. I want it to kind of go up, come down. Kind of like that. But I do want to make sure that I can see my verse right here, the verse that I'm focusing on. So I'm gonna kind of lower it just a little bit. And patience and stuff, be patient therefore. So that's, yeah. Okay, where'd my glue go? Okay, we're gonna glue this. And I know it's covering this verse up a little bit, y'all. I understand. But it doesn't bother me because I do have a study Bible that I read and study off of. This is one of my art journal Bibles. So I don't mind, you know, covering up the words sometimes. There, and that way it kind of carries over. I like to add a little bit to carry over onto the second page to tie the pages in. Okay, I don't know where my cover for this thing went. Oh, here we go. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the washi tape. And this washi tape will go for a long time, y'all. Definitely will last. Oop, that's really wonky. Sometimes I like things kind of straight, and then other times I don't mind if they're a little wonky, but I want it a little straight. Okay. This one I'm going to go like this. Carry that up just a tad. Oh, where should we put this one? Maybe just up and down like this. And then I got this little piece. We'll just stick him somewhere. Let's see. We'll just put him right there. Okay, there we go with that. Okay, now the next thing I want to do, I'm going to grab some white gesso. This is white. It's not translucent. It's not clear. And I'm just going to literally just dip my brush into this. And now I'm going to do brush marks on here and kind of, oops, sorry, push all this dark stuff a little bit to the back. I'm not going to cover everything, but I'm going to kind of, with up and down strokes, just kind of go in. You can use your fingers, you can use white paint. You don't have to use gesso. I just have this white gesso here, so might as well use it. And then this is going to give you really cool brush strokes and such. I'm making a mess here already. Shoving this in my container here. And then you're like, well, why did you do all of this work, all of this collage work, if you're just going to cover it all up? But you're not really covering it all up, and you can still see it through the gesso. It's just, it kind of just pushes it back a little bit. Now see, I didn't want all that to be covered, so I'm going to kind of go in with my finger and rub it off. I like some dark spots. And some light spots. Okay, and then get that in water when you're done. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that should be good. Hopefully I pushed it back enough. Okay, so let me rub this off again. This is why I have no good nails, y'all, because I get paint everywhere. Okay, let's dry that real quickly, just briefly. Gesso dries very quickly, so you can dry this. I love doing collage pages because you can just keep adding more and more and more until you get it the way you like it. If you don't like this, you can go over, if you don't like it at all, you can either peel everything off because you used a glue stick, or you can paint over this whole thing with black or white or whatever and start all over again. And your page will get a little thick, but you know, you won't see it. If I go in with white paint and paint this whole thing and then let it dry, I started with a clean page. So if you don't like what you did, just go back. That's the beauty of this stuff. It's like, really, you just keep layering and layering until you get the desired effect that you want. Okay. So I have these, I'm going to grab my VersaFine ink. I'm going to put this right here. So I can put this on here. And then I've got these little teeny tiny stamps. This one, I forget what they all say. Let's see, this one says grateful, this one says always, and this one says joy. So I just want to, because when we're going to persevere, we need to persevere always. And when we do, God will always bless us. So, let me see. Okay, I'm going to need, here's a scrap piece of paper. Let's see which way is the right way. Okay, well that's not the right way. So I'm gonna flip it over like this, and I am going to, and again, I don't mind if it's perfect or not. It's part of the collage. Let's do. Let's do, I'm getting ink everywhere. You could put this on a block. I'm just, you know, being lazy and just doing it my own way. But they're so tiny, it's hard to. Okay, so there's the always. I'm gonna wipe that off real quick. Put that over there. And then this is grateful, I think. Let's make sure. And let's make sure it's the right way. Grateful, there we go. And for me, I am grateful that God gives me the choice to persevere. And I'm grateful that when I do persevere, He does bless my efforts. So I'm gonna just add that word in a few spots. And anytime I'm doing a Bible journaling page, I always try to have all the, oops, I got hair here. I try to get all the elements, use elements that mean something to me about the page. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just putting stamps on here just to put stamps on here. I'm really trying to have a reason why. So anytime that helps me, again, really focus on the page, and as I'm crafting, it really helps me to focus on the verses that I'm focusing on and why. I'm not just crafting just to craft, or not just crafting to put a pretty picture on the page. I really want I want all the pieces to mean something, or have at least a little bit of a meaning, you know, to the picture. That also helps me remember the verses more too. So I'm putting joy there. And I think when we persevere, joy comes. So that's what that word to me means. So when we do what God asks us to do, we get blessed. And it might take a while, but we do, you know, whether it's here or in the afterlife, but joy will come. So that's kind of what that means to me. Okay, so the next thing I would like to do, what did I want to do? I'm going to put some splatters. Let's put some splatters. I need mine as well. Okay, let me move all this. Okay, so I've got my, which brush here? I've got this brush that's got gesso all over it. I don't know how, because I wasn't even using this brush, so the brush must have rubbed up against it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm grabbing my Neocolor crayon. Let me put this here first. I'm going to put some water on my brush, and then you get your crayon watered up. I mean, this stuff has got such pigmentation on this. I love these crayons. Okay. That's why I keep a paper towel here, because in case it starts really dripping. I don't know if you can see the splatters, but they're there. They're coming. Okay, and then let's put a few over here, and a few on there, and that's it. That is it. Look at that. Look at that pigmentation you get from these crayons. I love these crayons. But that's what these are. Carandash, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's Neocolor water-soluble crayons. And they come in a couple different packages. This is one of the packages I have, but they're super bright pigments. I love them. They're kind of like watercolors. Watercolor crayons. Okay, so now we have to dry this before we can go on to putting our stencil on here. But this is pretty much most of the work. We've got our words, we've got our background, our washi tape, our little splatters. Just want to make sure these splatters are super dry, because I want them to stay as splatters and not splotches. Because if I put my stencil over these and they're not dry, they will squish and they'll become splotches versus like little dot splatters. You see, nothing came through because of the paper. And actually, another thing I wanted to do, I was just thinking about it. I have this, this is black colored gesso. And I'm going to put, trying to figure out where I can put this where it's not gonna smear anything. Okay. I'm just gonna take a little bit. I mean, that's all I think that's all I'm gonna need. If I need more, I could always add more. But that's how you can save your materials. If just do a little at a time, and you can always add more. You know, you can always build up. But I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna kind of just come in some areas again. And I wanted to do like a little border kind of around this, a little bit, not totally, but I wanted like some dark areas to come down. You can use a brush, you can use a, what else? A cotton ball, a brush, makeup, you know, one of these makeup sponges, anything, but you know, I'm already dirty. Might as well get my fingers even more dirty. And I'm gonna do a little bit of dark areas. Now this, what this does is, as you can see, when you have some dark areas, that really changes up the look of your page. I've said this before on different pages, when you have some black areas, just a little, it does something to the page. Like it kind of like heightens it a little bit, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. And let's do something like that. Okay, I'm gonna stick my finger in my water here and then rinse it off. It'd be nice if I had a sink literally right here, right next to me. It would be so nice to have a sink. Okay, let me move this briefly and let's dry this. It already looks like it's almost dry, but I just want to make sure. This part is a little wet, I can see. So look at just a little couple pieces of dark spots. Anytime you're doing something like this, you want to have some contrast, some dark, some light. You don't want it, well, unless you're aiming for like a whole monochromatic. Well, this is monochromatic. This is like one color, black and white. Well, two colors. I mean, black is not really a color. It's the absence of color. Or it's all the colors put together, I guess. Or white is. What is? Which one's all the colors put together? I think it's black. I don't know. But this is a monochromatic page, but when you do that, you want like some contrast. At least I do. And I mean, unless you want it all to blend together, I want something to stand out. I want pieces to, like little parts of it to stand out. Again, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Okay, so I have this stencil. I got this one through AliExpress. It was a stencil of all of these girls. I don't know if you can you see her? Y'all. And some of these stencils are big. They're like 8 by 12 or maybe even bigger. So she's not even gonna all fit on this page. But we're gonna see what we can do here. And the reason why I liked her, I mean, I liked her because I had her. She's a stencil that I had and I wanted a girl stencil, but also it's like she's kind of looking pensive. Like she's trying to wait it out. She's trying to be patient. She's trying to, like, this is kind of how I feel right now. It's like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to learn through this one now? Or, you know, that's kind of what she's symbolizing to me right now. So it's kind of like, okay, be patient. But you know what? She's got her little hat on. She can still look cute while being patient, you know? So that is my idea behind this. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out where I want to put her on this page, and I don't want her to overlap here. So I think I'll have her just kind of come off the page over here, or I just might not go all the way here. I think that's a good spot. Okay, so I'm going to take this black gesso now, and I'm going to make sure I hold this down, and I am going to just kind of dab and press. Some parts will probably be lighter, some parts darker. I don't mind. I just want to make sure I get the whole stencil down so she stands out from the background. And when you dab that versus rub, that helps make sure that your paint, and again, you don't have to use gesso, you could use black paint, you can use whatever you have, but that helps make sure that your paint just goes right into the stencil and not underneath the stencil, if that makes sense, because I've done that a few times. So by dabbing, by pushing down like this, it kind of prevents the paint from going underneath the stencil, like if you were rubbing, like with a brush or something. Not only that, if you do have a lot of paint on your sponge or brush, it might leak under your stencil. So you want to make sure you have just enough, not too much, if that makes sense. If you have too much on it, it will leak under your stencil. So it's kind of like a trial and error thing. You got to kind of play with it to see what works for you. And each stencil is different too, because some stencils, whew, yeah, I'm sticking. Some stencils are very, very detailed. Like this one's not as detailed. Some are very detailed. Some have bigger spots like this. And again, so depending on the stencil, you might have to have more paint on your brush to get in all the little spots, but you know, just again, trial and error, just depends. Okay, I'm gonna kind of look, and I'm shifting her. I want to make sure her eyes and such and lips and face really stand out. So I'm going to go back in. Right around here. Is that part of her stencil? No, I'm just covering everything. Okay. And there we go. There she is. She kind of fades into the background a little, but you can still see her. And then this, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I'll put this to the side and we'll clean that up a little bit later. Same with that. Okay, look at that. Pretty. Okay, let me grab a paper towel here. Make sure I don't have any like wet stuff all over me. So when I touch my page, I don't make fingerprints everywhere. Okay, let's dry that. So pretty. I love how she kind of just blends in the back a little bit, but she's also there. That's kind of how I feel right now. I feel a little kind of transparent, or that's not the word. I don't know, like where's my place right now? Like I feel like things are kind of wavery right now. Things are unsure right now. I guess maybe that's the word, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. This kind of reflects my feelings. It's kind of cool. Okay, I have these black stickers, and I was gonna put Persevere, but let's see what it looks like, because if it's not how I think it's gonna look, I might decide not to put these on. So, and maybe I'll put it maybe just up here at the top. Okay, so I need a whole bunch of E's. Okay, let's see here. Here's an E. Where'd that go? All these little teeny tiny little. Need an R, per, right? Or is it P-R-E? It's per, P-E-R, right? Persevere. I'm assuming it's an S. I'm trying to make it straight. I should probably grab a ruler and just go like this. Just put it straight across here, and that'll help me figure out which way is straight. Let's see, another E. Uh-oh, I hope I have enough E's. I grabbed a bunch of these sheets, so I'm hoping I have a couple other E's. I thought I looked. We need a V. And another E. These might be a little different shaped E's, but that's okay. Maybe not. Let me see. I don't mind using different fonts with stickers. Sometimes that gives it a little character when you've got like different, they look about the same. E. R-E. Come on. Persevere. There we go, y'all. And then I might, let's see, do we have numbers on here? Oh, right here, we have some numbers. I might do the date down here, or maybe even up the side, or maybe I'll just do a date stamp. That might be easier, just with black ink, just do a date stamp. Okay, well, there's our page. So, oh, let me grab my, oh, what is this? Is this a blue one or a black one? Got a Sharpie pen, I just grabbed it. It's kind of bluish. There we go. Patience and suffering. So, you also be patient. So I'm actually just going to, I'm just gonna go like this. Squiggly lines again, squiggly lines. Right here, this is what I'm focusing on, just verses 7 and 8, really. Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it until it receives the early and late rains. You also be patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord is at hand. I love that. Okay, well, there we go, y'all. Hope you enjoyed that. Look at that. I love that. It's just a black and white page, but I'll bring it up close. You can see, use anything that you have, black or white. And then I just carried it over to this side just a little bit. And then there's our verse. So it's James chapter 5, verses 7 and 8. Well, there you go, y'all. So I hope y'all, if you are going through any kind of trial or anything, suffering, anything, just remember that God's word tells us to persevere, and we will be rewarded for it, y'all. Even though it might be a hard thing that we're going through, one day we will be rewarded for it, whether here on earth or up in heaven. But either way, God is with us through the whole thing. So praise God for that. So y'all have a very blessed week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.